Good afternoon. How you doing, Fritz? I have no idea how long this stream's going to be. The little man is down. So however long he naps for is going to be how long this stream is for. So I was at the store this morning here, and I picked up Coca-Cola Spiced. Apparently it's that new flavor. Oh, raspberry spice. I was going to say, I don't even know what the flavor tastes like. We're going to give it a go. Just want to make sure this wasn't going to explode. Interesting smell so far. You know what? The first taste, I like it. Kind of. We'll see. I don't know. At first, I'm like, well, I guess it isn't so bad. And then I got the taste of, like, you know, like the 45, 50-year-old creepy uncle, too much cologne, kind of, you know, like he just got home from a nightclub, kind of stank. I got a little hint of that, which turned me off to going further with the drink for now. So, you know, could just be a new flavor, could be reacting. We'll see. Just in case I got the backup here. Failure! You know what they need to do? They need to bring back the Coca-Cola Orange Vanilla. They need to bring that back. I'd buy that. I think, you know what I realized? I didn't fully balance out the synthesis recipes yet. So that is the last thing to do. But I think I got everything else done. Oh, do I have the sickness enabled? Okay, so I have it turned off right now. So I'm gonna show you. Here, we're just gonna sign out. I'm gonna sign back in. I think I figured out how I want rust sickness to look to some degree. Now I need to figure out how to do like an alpha to make it faded more, because right now it's a very pronounced thing, but I think I got it. I just don't know shaders, you know. It's kind of hard to stumble through things when you have no idea how any of the crap works and you're just trial and error, you know. Let's see here. Where is it? Ah, here we go. It wasn't working slowly. I had it just completely disabled. So the perception effect wasn't even going to trigger. It would have still given me the debuff though. But the perception effect, so the wobbling around, and the render would not have triggered. I had to pretty much gut the renderer. I made my own. I was looking and I'm like, I used, it was nice to look at Spear and Fangs to see how the Venom does it, but I'm like, I need a little more agency over the renderer, because, you know, it was a good start, but I ended up just getting rid of all of it to use like a Rift as a foundation. So this is going to be the new rust sickness, and again, it's extreme, but the idea is the same. I want to figure out how to fade it more. I just have no idea how. This is what it would be. Right, so let's do, let's make it daytime. Time set day. So you'll get there, see, so this is going to be what you see here. This is rust sickness. So you're kind of shading, you know, shifting in between the world there. If you go into fourth person or third person, this is what you'll see. So again, I wanted to, because it's the Rust world, right, and rifts and everything, I wanted it to be themed with that. So, and I think it's kind of cool how it's like, it's still kind of spread out, you know, just kind of doing its own thing, slowly pulsing here and there. And then the first person, right, it's like the two kind of coming together, so you can look up anyway, it still keeps your render. And then it just, boop, disappears, right? When you're not affected. I love it. I'm glad. Yay. So that's rust sickness there. The debuff lasts 5 seconds. Like when you are away, you know, like when you're free. It keeps refreshing it otherwise. Now again, right, there should be a transition, like fading things out, but until I figure out how to do like alpha in a shader, I just don't know how to do that at all. And I don't know anyone who's really a pro at it. So last night, I went through, I changed up some things here, right? I updated all the information. Using the Leyline Resonator, we have Magic Station upgrades. In the rituals, I made sure, because someone had a question about throwing things out, right there, make sure you throw the required reagent Q towards the ritual block before casting Transmutation. How much is the drain? That's a good question. I have the drain disabled because I was working on the, the way it looked. I can re-enable that and we will see. I updated the whole spellcraft system. So it should be all updated information here. You know, how you make your spell forge. And again, all this stuff we are going to play test as well. Let me re-enable... I'm going to re-enable Rust Sickness altogether. I will probably need to do some of this offline because I'm going to have to reach out to maybe Oats or someone, because I'm going to have to give them a copy of this, and I need to make sure my checks of... make sure the checks are tied to just the character. So if I have Rust Sickness, it doesn't trigger those effects on everyone in the server. You know, I don't like it. Cologne taste. Night at the Roxbury right there. That's a Will Ferrell kind of taste. Can be funny in a movie, but wouldn't want to take him home. All right, let's put those status effects back on. Oh, where is it? It is in the behavior, magic knowledge. Go a little further down, right here. So per tick per second, it takes away 25 of your hunger. When it starts eating at your health, it's 0.01 per tick. So it's not going to be something that is like huge, you know? So let's reload, and you'll see it in real time here. I'm going to fill myself up. Yeah, this is supposed to be like the way the rendering is now. I could see that for like a blight. Oh. Okay. Interesting how it did that, huh? I'm gonna try and reload again. I think I just remembered why I have this disabled. There's a bigger bug, and I don't know how to fix it yet. If it starts us off, yeah, with Rust Sickness, but it's just the visual for it. It doesn't actually tick anything down. I bet you if I do /kill... No, okay, so it doesn't do it there. It was, oh, it's on initial spawning. You see that? Interesting. Okay, I think I know how to fix that, because the perception effect is triggering. So let's look at the perception effect. Wait, let's make sure, right? I'm gonna reload again. Let's pull up the perception effect. I guess I gotta call it Rust Sickness perception effect instead of test. Yeah, it is both. Boop. I think I know what's going on here. So in here, right, if the game is paused or the player doesn't have head control, we're going to return. Right, so this is on before game render, and then we have this CAPI world, player entity, animation manager, head controller equals null, right? So we're going to return if both of those are right there. So if, here we go, if the watched attribute, so if they don't have rust poisoning timer at all, or... I really should break this up. Sometimes it's better, you know, just to look at it piece by piece the way it should be. So really, like, this is the first thing, right? So if you do not have the attribute, there we go. Let's get rid of that. So if you do not have the attribute for the rust poison timer at all, then we're just gonna, we're just gonna kick it right out. So that means I can make this a little less janked. Now what I can say is, get rid of this, right? Now I can go a step further and I can say, okay, if you do have the attribute and your timer is 0, right? Because nothing's ticking right now, then go ahead and return true. And, or just kick it out, right? You should not be under the effects. Or if you are in creative mode, I want this to stop. If you're in creative mode, you shouldn't be seeing rust sickness or anything like that. So this is a better way of doing this. Now I'm going to save and fireball that in. All of these should also be in my renderer as well. Where's my renderer? Come on out. Don't be scared. Gonna give you a little bit of a lobotomy. Da, 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 da. So I think most of this stuff could go right in here, right? So if the game's paused, or you don't have the head controller, again, attribute, it's pretty much the same thing this was down here. So I can delete that out. We're gonna fireball that in. And I'm gonna do a quick reload. That still did it. Alright. It brought me all the way back here, too. Pick up all my stuff. Interesting. I do not have the drain effect on right now. Oh, I think I know what I did there too. Hold on, I gotta disable one more thing. This. There we go. So that's what it is, right there. Right, so you hop in, and it ticks down. Right? So that's what it is with the health, so, or with the food. It's 25 a tick. So let me just stay here. And then we'll see what it ticks away in health. There we go. So see, that's the one right there. So it slowly ticks down. Boop. Need some vintage beef. What do you think, Fritz? Not too bad, right? It's enough of a bite to where it's a mechanic you cannot ignore. But it wears off quickly, and also that effect here, if you go into your portal, like I think maybe when it's running, like if you go into the portal, you will get the rust sickness as well. When it's idle like this, I think you'll be able to go in and out of it, but while it's synthesizing, you don't want to be in it. Oh, and with this rust sickness, like how I'm getting it right now, I'm a tier 1 mage. These are tier 4 caps. If I was a level 2 mage, like a tier 2, and I had like the tier 1 caps, I'm immune to the rift sickness or the rust sickness. So I won't get rust sickness, but it depends on how powerful these things are. Yeah, that's fine. Man, Moobot's been failing. Failing pretty hard. That's all I use Moobot for, really. You had one job, Moobot, and you failed. Okay, pop that in there. What was I going to test? Oh, yeah. Let's try one more thing here for the perception effect. I'm going to make sure that the player is in control. Right here. So if the player is ready to play, then let's start checking. All right, so for this, it would be CAPI. Yeah, if you are not ready to go. Let's see if that does it. Because I think there's something in there where it's like, maybe as you're loading in, you don't have what what it thinks you need, and it just kind of accepts it. Because it's already ticking as we get... That's what it is. So I think there's that lull when it's loading everything up, and it probably loads you as the player first and then loads everything on. So by that point, the renderer already hit, right, before it stops, but it slowly ticks down that 5 seconds. So now, yeah, see, I can run through. If I reload, so let's let this drop off, right? Now I'm going to reload, so that should fix it. Now, we'll still have the perception moving around, because I didn't add it there. But this should fix my problem. Actually, look at that. Completely fixed it. Yeah, buddy. That's what I like to see. I'm going to add it to the perception effect, though. Just as, like, a safety precaution. Okay. Well, we got that. Okay, let's focus on the last thing I need to do for this update before I can play test. That is going to be balancing out generation rates first, and then fine-tuning the synthesis recipes. Well, the way things are going to be tuned is that for the synthesis recipes, tier 1 is going to see a reduction in some of the required essence. Like there's going to be lower numbers with the new generation. Tier 2 is probably going to be similar, and then tier 3 and tier 4 will be going up because the gains that you get from this stuff becomes exponential. So it's going to be a kind of work in progress. Like, I'm going to be heavily relying on people saying, what works and what doesn't. Game mode 2. Here's my admin tool for mana. There we go. I love the utility of this spell. It's awesome. Alright, so with those done, I can get rid of those. Let me go to... There's something else I was going to do. And I don't remember what that something else was. I just don't remember it. It was minor, though. I don't think it was that important. I would have written it down. Hold on. Did I write it down? All right, here's my notes. Make a debuff called Blighted. No, that wasn't it. Make it like Tainted Snow. Light. Here we go. Okay, well, I guess I just have... I don't have anything else. All right, let's start working on the balancing. And this kind of information I'm actually going to put right in the main nexus. Block entity nexus. So right up here, we're going to make a little code block here. I'm going to say standard values of essence generation. Tab. There we go. That's good enough. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the regular nexus. I will do neutral nexus, light nexus, and dark. I'm going to do the light first because I think in terms of balancing, it's important to do the one that's the slowest, right? And then you can scale everything else off of that one. And I think I have that one done. So we're going to have the light, the neutral, and the dark. And the way this is going to work is the light is going to be the lowest. This is going to be the absolute slowest. I got to get a better drink. Hold on. I keep looking at that spice Coca-Cola and no. Delicious. You're on the right track with that, Fritz. But not there. You need base values, and that's what we're establishing with this light nexus. So like the 2x, 0.5x of what, you know, and I think I got it down here because I need to think of long-term day stuff, right? This is supposed to be the slowest, but this is also one that you can literally make a farm of these, you know, and just have them out in the daylight, and they will just accumulate so much per. Like the one thing that I think people don't understand is you can create more than one nexus of a type, you know, and by doing that, especially with the light, you can literally create a solar farm. And with the new the new way to like be able to pull energy off and the lacrima system and everything, I mean, whoever says that they like essence is hard to get, reroll, man. You know, like there's no helping you at this point. You know, we got to think outside the box a little bit. So for the light, this is the thoughts here. So I'm gonna break it up into what the tick's going to be. So 1 per like 30 seconds. This is the lowest of the low. That is going to equate to 2 per 1 minute. And then there are 24 minutes in a day, so that's going to be 48 per, and really it's going to be the half day, right? Because there's 48 minutes in a vintage story day. So half of that, 24, is going to be in daylight. Right, so half day. Now, the tier 4, and this is going to be for tier 1, or no tier, right? No upgrade. This is literally, I made a nexus, threw it down, and then drew some runes around it and walked away. Now, when you do the upgrade, no upgrade. Well, it needs to be terrible, Brits. That's the thing. Like, it needs to be bad in the beginning. But that's why, like, for 24 minutes of playing, right? And you should be doing other things, casting spells, clay forming, right? Like this isn't the only thing you do, and the only use you have in the beginning of all of this, your first use is making mana torches. And again, neutral nexus is going to be much better at that. The dark, if you can set it up, is going to be a powerhouse. That's the goal here. The light, it's your flat tire, your lowest one. So this is going to be tier 4, right? This is the maximum upgrade. So with that, I was going to say it would be 1 per 6 seconds. This would be 10 per 1 minute. And then within the day, that would be 240 a day. So within 4 days, this thing, the internal storage, would be just about maxed out. Yeah, how do you make a lacrima? That is a good question. You would come over to here. You would create your... It's in tier 2, so you would make whatever lacrima you want. Boop. I love the new effects, and it drops it right in the center. Love it. Or you'll throw it in. So for the lacrima, it's going to take 4 rusty dust and 4 temporal fragments. That's it. And then the cost in essence is going to be, it's not 1,500, that's what we're going to be adjusting. But those are going to be the ingredients for like the tier 2. So lacrimas are pretty cheap. By tier 2, you have all of the rituals up. You should have no problems with temporal fragments at all, right? So you should be good. Actually, I think I may end up changing that to Greater Arcanus instead of just Temporal Fragments. Yeah, it's tier 2. So this is the idea. Tier 1, you make your basic Nexus, you'll be able to turn it on, and then you'll be able to get the level 1 caps, right? And the level 1 caps are going to increase it by, it's basically going to be a 25% boost, you know, and so, but you're creating your foundation, you're using rituals, right? And you're getting familiar with those, you know, you're using synthesis for the first time to maybe make some things in bulk, you know? Yeah, so tier 1 introduces you to the base systems. Tier 2, you expand, right? And the thing is, if you know, like, a higher level mage, they can make the lacrimas for you. Or if they can at least give you the cipher, you could throw it in, and you can, even on your flat tire one, it's going to be unstable, but you can make a lacrima being a tier 1 mage. Or you can just have a tier 2 mage make it for you. You know, it'll cost them less resources, and you buy it from them, right? You trade it for gears or whatever you guys want to do in the role-playing server. All right, tier 3 opens up this, the Essence Vault. All right, so that's when you can start linking these directly in here, storing ridiculous values of stuff, right? This makes it like easy mode. You know, so you can hook this up to this, you know, a spell forge over there, you know, like all of the things can hook up to this one hub, right? So this is all about progression. But at the same time, you could be a tier 1 mage, and as long as a tier 3 mage can make this, you know, you're good to go. Like there's nothing holding you back from using this. You know, the only thing you got to watch out for is when these are running. If I know a tier 4 mage and I'm a tier 1, like what I am right now, I'm a tier 1 mage. This is off because it's nighttime. But I will get sickness. Oh, I'm in creative mode. Right? So I will get mana sickness because the caps are generating more than my magic level can handle. So I can still use it and get the benefits, but, you know, I may want to, like, break, right, and shut it off to work on things. And then I can, you know, pop it back on. It's like a nuclear reactor. Yeah, Essence Vault is tier 3. 25,000 essence of each type. And it uses the Lacrima system, right? And this can take directly from a Nexus as well. So these can just be generators set up, running somewhere. You can make the attachment, and as this generates, it will automatically store it into your Essence Vault. I'd say that's pretty damn cool. Boop. Yep, tier 3. You're gonna have to work, Fritz, to get some of the good stuff. I'm not giving it to you in tier 1. There's actually, there's a lot in tier 1 as it is. Like, there are a lot of big systems that open up in tier 1. And I plan on adding, you know, that's why I like adding things. Oh god, make the vault late tier 2. Now it's gonna be tier 1. There is no such thing as late tier 2. You know, like, if that's the point, like, when you're tier 2, it's just a base unlock of things. Tier 3 is another base unlock of things. It's gonna be tier 3. That's what it is. Like, there's some things where, because you don't know what else I have planned as well. I got other things. Trust me, it's gonna be a tier 3. It's gonna be a tier, and you and Fritz also, if you're feeling this way, it's because you are used to how expensive things are now. You're used to seeing 1,000, you know, 2,000, 4,000 to make a grimoire. You know, you're used to seeing, oh, I want to make a batch of mana torches, that's 400. All of that stuff is going to be reduced while redoing this system. So keep that in mind too. That's the whole point of this. I wanted to redo, because before the numbers were just random, right? These things could hold 5,000. They can only hold 1,000 now. So tier 1 will live comfortably within that 1,000 mark. right? Everything gets shifted down. And that's what we're going for. Right now. So let's look at this some more. So this is no upgrade and then the maximum, 240 per day. So for the neutral nexus, there are going to be a couple of things, right? So I'll do Rusty Dust. No upgrade. And then we're going to have temporal fragments. What? Temporal fragment, and then we have the temporal gear. And I can be lenient about this. Temporal gear. I was playing with the idea of using Arcanus in here. The only problem with using Arcanus is that right now, you could be a tier 1 mage and you can make Celestial Arcanus because it's a crafting grade recipe. You know, it's like going to be an all or nothing, or I can lock it behind a trait, but it's going to be a pain in the balls to keep rewriting and preserving and adding to traits. Oh, I'm a tier 2 mage. I gained Enlightenment 2. That's asking for issues, right? People are going to be coming to me, well, I had this mod that changes classes, and your mod is crashing the game now because, you know, you're trying to rewrite the trait watched attribute on the players, and you know what I mean? So I'm very limited to what I can do with that. I was considering making it a ritual and having it to where, like, you make Arcanus through rituals. You can't do synthesis, just because I don't want it tied to synthesis. So I'm not sure how I could do world magic, but the problem is, what would the sacrificial block be that would convert your temporal fragments into Arcanus, you know? Maybe world magic would be a better idea. Because you would draw out your pattern, right? I mean, it could even be something, honestly, it could be something like this. You would draw out your pattern. Maybe go into game mode 2. I'm just going to grab a bunch of stuff here. Get rid of a bunch of stuff. There we go. So I'm going to do a bunch of that and a bunch of that. Right, so I could say like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because that's what it is there. Cast transmutation on the center, and it would gobble all those up, pop out the fragment. I mean, I could even make it a crystal. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know. What do you think about that? It wouldn't make sense to have it be a nexus that does it, or would it? I don't know. What would that block in the middle be? Should it be like that? See, I don't really have a lot of blocks that you can put down. Should it be a mana torch? Use that as fuel? It would consume that and it would drop your fragments? Putting this pattern down? I don't know, I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Because if I do it this way, then I can tie it behind, so tier 2 mages will be able to make, you know, like the greater. And then that will open up what you can use as fuel in the neutral nexus. Because then I can say, okay, you know, you can use Arcanus now instead of those 3 things. You could pop any Arcanus. See, the problem is, what stops a level 1 player from making Celestial Arcanus to put that in here and use only a Celestial Arcanus to try and get the most points? I've wasted all the other Arcanus by doing that. I made them obsolete. That'll do. Does the Nexus need an Arcanus? The Nexus does not. It doesn't need an Arcanus. You can use, like, for fuel, you can use Temporal Fragments, you can use Rusty Dust. They're all going to give a different point. you know, a different amount, and it's going to take a different amount of time. This isn't turned on right now, so it's not going to even try to tick. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. So now it's resonating, and and you'll see here, it'll start ticking through, right? But they're going to be base amounts with all of these items here. And the idea for balance is, so I'm going to show you here now. I'm going to finish my initial thought. Let me mark this stuff down. The hardest thing is going to be balancing out the temporal gear, I think. So Rusty Dust, you'll get 1 per 10 seconds. So it's going to be a quick burn. And the reason why you only get 1 is because I need a base value. And you can literally make farms of Rift Bloom in the current state right now. So yeah, you're only going to be able to go on. That'd be 6 per minute. So already, if you pop it in there, it's 144 per half day. But remember, this could be a full day because it doesn't care about day or night. So you can load this thing up and you can get 288 per day. So that's already much higher than the 48 over here. But that 48 requires nothing. That's just sitting there idle. The temporal fragment will be 8 per. Potentially. This is where I got to balance it a little bit. So 8 per 1 minute. And that would be 16. Wait a minute. I think I was supposed to say 30 seconds. Yeah, it's not 1 minute, it was 30 seconds. Right, so it takes a little longer to burn. And then that would be 16 per minute. And that would be 192 per half day. Let's pull out a calculator because I ain't doing this math. Just times 2. There we go. 384. You see what I mean here? So already, you know, these final things. 384 per day. Let's space this stuff out a little bit better. There we go. All right, so for the temporal gear, that's going to be the mystery card. I don't have any good things there. You know, we won't do the temporal gear yet. We won't do that. So these are what I'm thinking like a baseline should be. And now if we add the Arcanus, so like lesser Arcanus. So it would have had to go through its first transformation here. What I can do, let's look at how much it takes to make an Arcanus. Right, so it's going to be 2 temporal fragments and 4 rusty dust make a lesser Arcanus. So really it's going to be 16 plus 4 is 20. So that's the base value as it is. It could be 20. Now, I can make it to where if you want to burn this instead, in the long run, I could make it to where it's a 45 seconds to eat it. So you can, this would be the better upgrade. But maybe like you could get it faster, which means per minute it would be, well, per 1 minute it would be 25, right? So I should probably do my math a little differently, but, right, because it would be 45 seconds. Bring out my calculator. There it is. So 45 seconds divided by 20, 2.5. So every tick would be 2.5. So let me multiply that by 15. So if my math is right, that'd be 33. Actually, I think I'm doing that math completely wrong. I think I'm doing it completely wrong. I could do it this way too. Instead of doing it per 1 minute. Nah, you know what? I think I want to do it per 1 minute. Anyone else good with math? I'm having a brain fart here. I know I think I need to do maybe a division here. So 45 seconds. Oh, wait. I remember. I have something for all this to do the calculations for me. Okay. What is what percent of... Nope, that's not it. So 45, right? So that would be a 75%. $20 is 75% of... No, because it's not 20. It's not 20. So what is 25% of 20? So that is 5, of course, right? So, oh, I would just be adding 5. Oh my god, that math was simpler than I thought. Jesus Christ. Whew, let me get some more soda. Delicious. Right, so this being the case, you might as well not use Rusty Dust or Temporal Fragments. I don't want that. Let's reduce this cost. Let's make it to where it's only 16 per. But let's make it tick and be maybe a little better, right? So one's going to be... one may take a little longer, you know, with the points overall. The other one, you can burn it to get it faster, right? Or maybe it should be the other way. Maybe Rusty Dust and Temporal Fragments process quicker, but the Lesser Arcanus would have more yield, but it would take longer. So I can say like 20 per, instead of 45 seconds, it would be 1 minute. We could start with 1 minute. Because with this Temporal Fragment, it would be faster, right? Well, I guess it wouldn't be faster. You see what I'm trying to do, right? We have to balance these base things with all of the Arcanus. Because we're going to have that, and that. So we're going to have our Greater. We're going to have the Celestial, or the Superior, and then the Celestial Arcanus. Ooh, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna let this marinate. Let's come back to this and think about it, because I think we're close. I just don't want to make something obsolete. I want an equal choice. Do you want everything quick, or do you want to, you know, eventually, right? Like the Rusty Dust and the Temporal Fragments do become obsolete. But it should maybe start with the Greater Arcanus. Like being a tier 2 mage in the Greater, that's when it can start to pull away. So really it's Lesser Arcanus needs to be in line with the Temporal Fragment amount. You know, that way you still want to use these and you don't feel obligated to process everything before processing. Know what I mean? Although if I do want to make it even, I could just do this. And you know, maybe I'm giving it too much thought. Could just pop that like that, and it'd still be 192. So it would be the same amount. It's just the, you know, it's just going to be a Temporal Fragment to Lesser Arcanus. The Lesser Arcanus may just take a little longer. The Temporal Fragments, you can do it in bits. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's going to be slower. Now here, it's going to be definitely slower. You know, maybe it's going to be like 2.5 minutes, but, you know, maybe you get like a bigger burst, you know, and then a bigger burst. And then this one could be something huge. Like it's going to take 5 minutes, but it gives you, you know what I mean? Like 2,000 or, you know, whatever that amount looks like. All right, let's make the magic array. This one right here, so we can make these. I'm really excited. This is a good idea. I want more world magic arrays. Right now, pull out the guide, because I added all this stuff to the guidebook. Right in the first section, world magic. I have a world magic section now. So far we have the Nexus conversion. We have the one called Arboreal Shift, which is going to be how you change a sapling into a different sapling. We have the Elemental Resonance, which is going to be how you use, you know, the crystal in the middle to turn fragments and attune them to that crystal that you want, that element. And then you have your Mana Lantern Infusion, right? Which is going to be how you infuse a Mana Lantern to change it to be a different type. Which is that guy right there. So having another kind of world magic, I think that's going to be cool. It's going to be this one right here. I'm going to take a screenshot of it now. You know what? Let's make it like daytime. I hate the freaking shadows. It's just super long shadow. I noticed that with my last picture too. Maybe I need to make like an artificial wall or something. Let's make an Eldrathium wall. Pull out the old tool here. Paintbrush. All right, cuboid. Size. Make it enormous. 20 high. Is this gonna be right? Yeah, here we go. Let's make a wall. Put it like right there. Looks like shit. There, all right there. I don't want to I don't want to cripple that. You know, I think that's better. At least it's better. There we go. Extend it just a little bit. Maybe I need to put some artificial lights here. Where are my torches or my mana lanterns? Let's get some. Whoa, hold on. Whoa, hold on. Let's shut that off. Okay, there we go. This isn't gonna work. This is bullshit. None of my ideas work. You know what? I think that's all right. Whoa, I almost just adminate that stuff too. All right, let's take my screenshot. Let's make it daytime again. Starting to wildly shift. There we go. All right. Come on, tick a little more. Just a little more. Oh my god. It's like watching paint dry. No, it went out. Are you kidding me? Oh no. All right, transmutation. Can I reach it from here? Yeah, buddy. Okay, print screen. Everything I touch dies. All right. So this is what we're gonna make. I can admin these now. All right. Let's gracefully shut down the game because there's gonna be a couple things that we're gonna have to make, and you can't do that with the game off or with the game on. So first thing is going to be a new image file because I'm gonna have to archive this in the guidebook. So if we go into textures, guidebook, this is going to be the tier 1 section. We need to copy and paste this. We need to make it a 13 because we got to do the next incremental part. There's 13. Come on down to here, delete that out. Now this is where I copy this image. Keep canvas size. We're just going to kind of resize it so it's in there. It should be big enough to where you can kind of see, you know, what's going on. Right, so we could see a couple things thrown here. The pattern is the important part, and the fact that you need. I'll make it any type of mana torch. It doesn't have to be a specific kind. You could use any kind of mana torch to do this. All right, so let's merge it down. We'll save it. Eventually, we'll add the guidebook part for it. We're going to have to make a new method now. Where is my... Here it is. Okay. So I already have an entry for mana torches, because you can turn mana torches back on. So I think I need to run through lighting, like relighting your mana torch. Oh, that's the mana lantern. Hold on. Where's the mana torch relighting? I think it's further down. That's the mana stream generator. Torch, there's the crystal. Here we go. All right, so it's not a lantern. So I think I want to run through this behavior last. I'm going to want to make the ritual for it first. Right there. Run world magic elemental fragment conversion. That's not what we're going to call it. Copy. We're going to create a new one here. We're going to create two new ones because I never finished the arboreal shift world magic either. So I'm going to paste this in twice. And this is going to be called Run World Magic Arboreal. Am I spelling it right? Am I this bad at spelling? Shift. I think I spelled it wrong. I gotta look it up. A-B-O-R-E. I know I have it in here. Come on, man. It would be a little further up in section 0. Oh my god, yeah. Thank you. I'm glad I looked it up. Arboreal. Oh my god. Arboreal shift. There we go. We're just gonna ignore that for now. And then there's gonna be this one. So what fancy name should this be for this world magic? I will say Arcanus. Maybe I could do like an Arcanus infusion, maybe? Do I have infusion as a word already? Yeah, Mana Lantern infusion. We have the Nexus conversion, Arboreal shift, Elemental resonance. Resonance. I don't know, what should this one be called? Something with Arcanus. Arcanus something. You know, I could just go to old Chat GPT again. Come here, AI. Here, boy. Let's go. Arcanus. No, we're not. If I can't pronounce it, RC, how's it going? We're not gonna. Arcanosaurus. Go like a Power Ranger kind of feel now. I need magic spell names that creates Arcanus Anus. I'll allow it. Wow, Moobot. The first thing, alright? You let spammers come through, but RC can't say anus? What the hell? I need magic spell names that creates a magical item called Anus. Okay, Arcane Infusion. I'm already using Infusion. Wasn't that the one? Yeah. So I want it to be something different. Mystic Forging, no. Arcanus Forging, no. Arcanus Creation. Arcanus Synthesis, no. Arcanus Weave, no. No. Arcanus Genesis, no. More? Question mark? Emanations, not really it. Rune of Arcanus. So what does it do? It's going to be how you create Arcanus. Sorceress Shaping. What the fuck? More? Weave, right? Ritual, no. Embodiment. Incantation, no. Convergence. Arcanus Convergence. You know what? Done. Done. Executive decision time. Done. This is going to be Arcanus. Arcanus Symphony! Convergence. Right? Convergence, the coming together of. I think that works. And conversion right here. Perfect. Arcanus Convergence. I'm going to make it entry 13. I'm actually going to shift these entries around. Good, we got a name. Hooray! It took so little time. I'm so proud of us. Arcanus Alchemy. I got to be careful using the term alchemy. And using, like, you know, I feel like Philosopher's Stone. I would love to have a Philosopher's Stone in the... I almost called the Transmog Stone a Philosopher's Stone. But I'm like, nope. Because I already know people are going to be like, why can't I make potions? I have a Philosopher's Stone. It's just unnecessary. Like, I don't want to have to read that stuff. You know what I mean? This is not an alchemy mod. This is a magic mod. There's an alchemy mod. Go use that. That's good. But unfortunately, it is done now. Okay, Arcanus Convergence. A lot of this stuff is going to be the same. Well, let me save this. We're going to come over to here. I'm going to go ahead and put Arcanus Convergence in here. I need to prune out a couple of things. We do not need an elemental string or variant. Mana Torch is going to be a Mana Torch. I don't care about that. We don't need a snapshot of that information. I do need everything else. So now I can run the game because I made the methods and everything that we need. Cologne time, nope. This shit's going in the toilet. Does anyone out there like spiced Coca-Cola, the new flavor? That's spiced. Tastes like old man sweat, hopes and dreams, nightclub sweat. Too much cheap cologne. That's what it reminds me of. Oh, it failed. Oh, wait, I see why it failed. Failed right there. I put a little gobbledygook in there. Oh, failed again. The only other thing would be over here. Yeah, look at that. Okay, a little further down. Yeah, just as I thought. So I got to prune that out. It's going to fail out somewhere else here. Aha, right here. So instead of elemental fragment, I'm just going to get rid of that. I'll make it fire by default. I will have to change that. Okay, I just want to get into the game right now. There we go. Now we can do it live. I don't drink Coke anymore. Haven't heard of it. Yeah, I like the zero sugar drinks. Honestly, I can't really drink regular Coke anymore. The only time I get close to real soda or drink real soda is when I'm live streaming. Usually, I like the Mountain Dew flavors, like the Code Red and Live Wire, Baja Blast, right? Spark. So I'll grab a couple small containers of those, and then it's like a treat for myself. Boop. So this is what we want to make in-game here. So I'm going to have my focal block here, and then I need to look for these runic patterns with the Mana Torch. Sounds like it's trying to be Dr. Pepper too. It's supposed to be a raspberry spiced. It doesn't taste good to me. Like initially drinking it, I'm like, I could taste the raspberry, and all of a sudden, whatever that spiced is, yeah, it's Old Spice is what it is. You know, I like it on my body. I don't like it, you know, in my mouth. Right? I like to smell good, but, you know. Crazy. All right. Let's make this. So I'm going to look ahead here. There we go. So let's start getting some mana points here. We're gonna have 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm only gonna have 12 checks. So going up to 16 is not what we need. This is all we need. Boom. All right, so first off, 1, 1, 1, 1. We could make do with all the ones here, so. -1, -1. +1, -1. And then this will be a -1 to 1, and then a 1 to 1. So that should hit that one, that one, that one, and that one. Now we're going to have to go 1, 2, and then 1 and 2, right? So it's going to be similar. So it's going to be like 2, -2, and then +2, +2. Then we'll have a -1 and a 1, a -1 and a 1. So that should hit this one, this one, this one, this one. So now we just need these top ones. So it's going to be back to a 1 and then -2, right? So we're going to have like 1, 1, 1, 1. And then this is going to be like a -2, 2, -2, 2. That should be all of our points to be able to check to see if the pattern is indeed correct. I will give you that 3.5 space here as well. Okay, now we need to do a handful of checks, right? Because, well, I guess this is going to be the first question. Should you use Rusty Dust to make an Arcanus? I don't think you should. Let's go into Rusty Dust. So this, you get this from the plant, right? And it takes 4 Rusty Dust to make a Temporal Fragment. So you already have your conversion of Rusty Dust here. Why not just have it cost 2 or 3 Temporal Fragments? Right? Maybe just 2 Temporal Fragments. That's all it costs to make, you know, because I have this recipe, right, for the Temporal Fragment. Wait, oh wait, that was wrong. So 1 Temporal Fragment breaks down into 4 Rusty Dust, right? I wanted a 2-way street there. So if you need Rusty Dust for things, you should be able to, you know, break your Temporal Fragments back down. And if we go on to Temporal Fragments, this is what the original recipe was to make a Temporal Fragment. So it was 5 Rusty Dust and 4 Shifting Fibers. Right? Or that's not even our... Yeah, so you're already making, you know, a Temporal Fragment out of all of this material. Right? So now, this is how I currently have it to where, like, you make a Lesser Arcanus. Why bother, right? Why not just throw a couple Temporal Fragments out? You don't need the Rusty Dust, right? Why would you need the Rusty Dust? I should just be able to throw 2 Temporal Fragments out with a Mana Torch, right? And then cast Transmutation. And it should eat the torch, eat these runes, eat those 2 things, and then combine everything to make your Lesser Arcanus. Think that's fair? Only 2? Get rid of the Rusty Dust? Yes, Vice! Sounds wonderful! Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. Alright. I'm going to start working on it here. So I'm going to need Temporal Fragment. So we are going to look for this. I'm going to get a count. I'm going to say there needs to be at least 2. So if you got the right runes and you have the right reagents, then let's start doing our counting again. So if it contains Temporal Fragment, yep. Nice. How you doing, Fritz? How's the surgery recovery going? Are you like pretty much good to go? No physical therapy? I don't think you've answered that before. And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. You know, I'm just curious. I'd like everyone to be happy and healthy. Happy and healthy. Oh, I'm doing stuff with this crystal potency. That's right. I got to prune that out. Crystal potency of 1. Just going to comment that out because we don't need it. So if this is less than 2... You are utter shit at this. Go to your devs and get this fixed. Let me just say this: if she's saying yup, and it's in the context that Moobot's trying to put it into, I'm doing something wrong, right? Like, that's I think that's a failure on my part. Man, I love this tumbler. So good. I think it's stupid that it's called tumbler. My big cup. Don't need therapy. Just need to retrain the muscles I had. The tumor so long. I gotcha. So if it's less than 2, right? So it'd be 0, 1, 2. Okay. So that should be good. We need to be able to create the new item, which is going to be Arcanus-Lesser, I believe, is what it's called. Count item, reagent. We're just going to make this a static 1. And I think that's right? Arcanus, it's Arcanus-, yeah, Arcanus-Lesser. All right, I'm going to fireball this in. Boop. Let's see if it works. Oh, I need more magic. Get the admin tool out. Boop. Nope, that did not work. So we're gonna debug it just like last time, right? I'm going to get this. Oh, here it is. Let's see if we have the correct runes. We may not have the correct runes. It didn't even trigger anything. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. World Run Magic Arcanus Convergence. We got the position, fired by. So are we getting into here? That's a good question. Let's do, whoops, RMR references dot logger. I'm just gonna put a bunch of 9s. 9. I just gotta make sure it's triggering off of this. It is not. Why would it not be triggering here? So, oh, inert. Oh, that's what it is. Oh no, that's okay. I get to just copy this. I just gotta break things out. So that means I can delete that, and this could be for relighting, and then I can make this an exclamation mark. Or you know what? Instead of inert, it could just be lit. Let's take a look at these two. I know there's a certain difference I made between them that allows them to work. Okay, it cannot be inert. That's going to be the easiest thing. So let's go back over here. There we go. And I'm just going to make it not inert. And you know what? I'm going to make it to where you can also do this with the lanterns, but it won't consume your lantern. So if you can get a hold of a higher level mage, it'll be a lot easier, a lot more cost effective to do this stuff. Yeah. And if you're a higher level mage, you get that bonus. Mana torch, inert. That means I can get rid of this. There we go. Instead of relight inner torches, I'm going to say create lesser Arcanus. Perfect. Oops, insufficient mana. There we go. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Make it daytime. Days are never long enough. That was well done. And look, it dropped our crystal. Yay! That's how you can do it. It did not consume the torch. Well, we need to fix that, don't we? Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Let's scroll up to... I think I want to go to Ritual of Summoning. We'll take a quick sneak peek into this. No, wait, no. It's not going to be Ritual of Summoning. Minimize that, minimize that. It's going to be the Ritual of Creation. Yeah, that's right. I just need to do an or statement. Oop. So if it sees any of the magic runes or a torch, it will gobble them all up. Okay, so now... Boom, 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 boom. There we go. I'm not going to be able to do anything where you hover over it and it shows you where the runes go. You're just going to have to know this. And we throw 1, 2. Let's throw 3 and let's see if it only eats the 2. Yep. It ate the torch. It ate the 2. It left me 1. Yep, it's still a valid item. And we got that. Perfect. And that works. Let's try it with a mana lantern. Fancy, right? Day class A. Let's do a dark mana lantern. Because it doesn't matter what type of lantern you use or type of mana torch. You could use any right now. Boop, boop, boop. Right? And then I can throw. Oh, I'm going to have to make something unique for this too. That's... I'm not going to have to. That was perfect. Took the items and it gave me my fragment and it left the mana lantern. Sweet. That works a lot better. All right, a lot better than I expected. Oh, let's double check. Let's put out a torch. Skip ahead a couple of days. There we go. I want it to shut off. I do not want you to be able to use inert torches in anything. You need to cast transmutation on them to light them up. So it would be a double cast in this case. So I would throw my stuff out. This should only light it. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Now I could follow it up and I could actually use it in said ritual. There we go. Yay! I think that's going to be a lot more fun to do. A lot more fun. Sweet. Now the question is, should I just make it to where, to make a greater, should it just be 2 lesser fragments? Or 2 lesser Arcanus makes a greater? And then just do it like that in pairs of 2? To make it easy? Easier? Because I would like to keep this simple, you know? I think that'd be a good conversion. No, it should always be consumed. I missed something. The torch should always be consumed. Yeah. Yeah, and the torch will be. But I mean, what, like I was saying, what are we thinking with that? Just make it easy, right? So if I were tier 2 mage, you know, I could throw out 2 of these, right? 2 lessers. Cast the spell and it would turn those, excuse me, into a greater. And then the same thing, right? 2 greaters, cast it, and it turns it into the next stage. Think that'd be good? I think no answer means I nailed it on the head. I think that means do it, Vice. That sounds perfect. Well balanced. Lamp's too expensive to be consumed. Yeah, it's not going to consume the lamp now. It will consume your torches, though. But then again, by this time, you can just make them in bulk. So, torches are going to be easier to come by. Especially in this next update. 2 Arcanus should make 1 of higher tier. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Let's make it that way then. So now we're at an impasse, right? I can create other methods here. And have them vary a little bit, or I could you know what? I may make the one method and then we can just input what we expect to get back. So at the very end here, we are going to add to this. Now I'm going to have to shut down the game to do this, but we're going to put a comma. I'm going to want a... I think... Get rid of some of this stuff. So I should have... Yeah, I'm going to want 2 strings. I'm going to want 2 strings here. 1 string is going to be the reagent in. The other string is going to be output in. Right? So I'm going to take a snapshot. I'm going to get the reagents and I'm going to get the output. Which means something like this. I can cut that out. This would be reagent in. This one would also be reagent in. I'm going to have to go back to here, right? Because now it's going to want the reagent in, so I could just have like temporal fragment. And then for the output, in this case, it's going to be the lesser arcanus. I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to do output in, and then over here, because I don't need to rewrite all the code. We could just make this a little easier, right? Like make it suitable for us. So if I save that, we're gonna have to shut down because I just modified a method. So we're gonna rebuild. We're gonna start. I'm gonna have to come up to the top because now I need to put in restrictions. I need to put in restrictions for your mage tier, and I'm gonna have to have like a top-down kind of scenario. Yep, still going strong. I'm gonna probably stop live streaming after we confirm this is working. Because I'm getting hungry and I want to get something before the little one gets up. So we go into here. Player magic tier is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to have something like this. And I'll start top down as well. Though it doesn't really matter. Let's scroll up to the top again. And we're going to have to do these 2 safety checks. So right in here, I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to cut this out, put it here. Right, so I'm going to make sure you have the mana attribute. I'm going to get the int for that mana attribute. I am going to... No actual play testing today. Well, not yet, right? I need to I need to finish this. I'm going to have to finish out the rebalancing. I had forgotten that I needed to do the essence rebalancing. It's going to be very broken if I just release it now. And then with the playtesting. So it may be a little later tonight that I do the playtesting. Squirming. No! Stay sleeping, please. Just a little longer. A little longer. Paste, 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 paste. So 3, 2, and 1. Actual no playtesting today. Yeah, that's something. If I hopped in bed, I'm gonna be like, whoa, whoa, or hop right back out. Excuse me? What was that? You don't know me. Paste, paste, and paste. This is gonna have to be a greater. This is gonna have to be a superior. This is gonna have to be a celestial. This is going to have to be superior, and this one's going to be greater. All right, so that should work with everything. Let's test it out. We're gonna have to shut down the game. I'm gonna have to rebuild. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to do the playtesting. Again, I had totally forgot. It's because last night I was going to do it, and I'm like, it's already late. I just kind of want to go to bed. Actually sleep in a little bit. And I did. I passed out. I slept right through till 9:30. Although it would have been 8:30 normally, which is really, really late for me. That is like unheard of late. I usually wake up at 5 a.m. every day. So I needed it. All right, let's do some rituals. Boom, world magic, baby. So I'm a tier 1 mage. If I try to make tier 2 Arcanus, right? Or less of the greater Arcanus. Oops, let's grab a couple of these, right? So ideally I would do that. This should not work. Oh, that's great. I never took a snapshot of fired by. Oh, Vice. Oh, Vice. You sad little man. Oh my god, yep. So I needed to copy that. Okay, let's go back down. Where is it? Right here. Here we go. Boop. Oh my god. Let's just stop. Oh man, that's great. Well, it's fine. Do you plan to stream tonight in the playtest? Yeah. When I do the playtest, I want to do it live. I want to stream it. Because I'm going to have to go by step. So it would be great for people to see how the mod flow works, right, through this playtest. Because I'm going to be starting from scratch. And I'm going to admin. Of course, I'm not going to go out and grind things. We'll make sure, like, things drop. And then at that point, I can admin in the bulk items. We'll create the next thing and then see if that drop works, right? And do a progressive thing like that. Let's pop this down. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. Oh, wait. This should not work. Oops. Get rid of some of this stuff here. There we go. All right, that looks good. So that should not work. Yep, there we go. This should work. Boom. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Now, on the flip side, right? I want to be a tier 2 mage. So let's artificially raise my maximum mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So I got my green little stripes here, right? My arrow's up, which means I can level up. Let's pull out a... Where is it? The Sigil of Awakening. There it is. And I should just be able to use it, because temporal stability is not a thing. Normally, you would need your temporal stability to be lower. There we go. I'm a tier 2 mage now. I learned the Bastion, the prison system, transmog system. I've learned so many things. Now I can take these, and I'll do a third, right? Because I want to make sure that it still respects the fact that it's not going to eat if you make a mistake, eat too much. There we go. And look at that. Perfect. So it didn't eat the one, and I got my greater. So that's going to be the progression. Awesome. Yeah, that's actually pretty darn good right there. It is pretty darn good. You know what I should do? Instead of the fired by being in here, let's scroll up to the top. Let's put it into here. That way it does an innate check altogether. Which means I could remove it from here. I'm not going to yet, but... So if I fireball it in, now let's try and do what I did before. I'm trying to decide on what I'm going to have for lunch. Should I get like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles? Or should I get like a roast beef sandwich or something? Completely different genres, right? Genre. Oop. There we go. No crash. That's what I like to see. Next update, Bastion. Well, yeah, the next actual big update is going to be the Bastion and the Prism systems as well. It's going to be those two things that I will be focusing on. This should be there'll be more quality of life things in the mod, but it's going to be as people tell me. You know, like, oh, this doesn't feel good. This takes too long. This update has been a culmination of like what I felt needed changing, and you know, like things that you've mentioned too, Fritz and other people, where I look back and I'm like, yeah, you know what? It is kind of lacking there. You know, we could beef it up, because the idea is you spend time to make yourself powerful in this mod, but it shouldn't be like there's a difference between like a grind to like feel accomplishment and a grind of like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck am I doing with this right now? Kind of grind. All right. So that's been done. That is good to go. I need to do the arboreal one, but that's going to not be now because I am definitely running out of time. Got some things here. Man, my phone is blowing up. Blowing up. I think we're good. You know what? You know what? We got we're in here right now. Right? Let's just do Arboreal Shift right now. Let's just do it. Keep an Arboreal Shift. I'm gonna need the output string. This one's gonna be quick. The only reason why I'm doing it, I'm responsible. Trust me. I am responsible. I'm a responsible adult. I'm very responsible. This one's gonna be easy. I don't need to focus on any of this because there are no other reagents. It's the sapling. Which means this section can also go away. We're just going to have to eat up the mana runes. This is going to be output in. Oh, you know what? It's not even going to be output in. Let's get rid of that. This is going to be output in. Set block. Okay, so I will do this. This will be get block. I'm going to make the whole thing output in. And then this, I'm going to get it out of this item stack here. I'm just going to say block. There we go. Instead of spawn entity, we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to want to swap the block pretty much. This is what I want to do. Now we're going to come into here. The part where, here we go. This part here with the sapling. The sapling type. Oh, I already made the block here. Dude, easy. Easy mode. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So I'm going to comment that out. Copy that. Paste that here. Now I can get rid of this. We are going to use this arboreal shift. So it's going to be this dot rituals dot arboreal shift. We are going to scroll up to here. I'm going to copy all of this because it's all pretty much going to be the same. Paste that in. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to insert change to block right here. Make sure this is right. Yes. Now over here, because it doesn't need to be a string anymore, I could just take in block directly. Which means I'm going to have to scroll down here. So this becomes null. And then set block, it's going to have to be the block ID. So dot, this is going to have to be output in dot block ID. There we go. Freaking done. You know what? I kind of want to do this. Let me take a quick look at this because I'm not sure. Yeah, I gotta mark the block dirty as well. That's the other thing I need to do. So I can comment this back out. We're gonna hop back into here, scroll back down. Yeah, so this right here, we're gonna mark the block as dirty here. That should be it. There we go. I don't need to mark it dirty twice. There we go. Okay, so let's give it a try. This should be arboreal shift. I'm gonna have to shut down the game. All right, you know, I am a little irresponsible with time. I'll admit it. You know, when you have fun and you're on a roll, you just want to keep going. You dirty block, you. Go wash yourself. So dirty. You're a bad block, aren't you? I won't take you home to see my mother. All right, here we go. Nope, didn't work. Let's see the reasoning why. Let's make sure that we actually got into here. Oh wait, duh, no wonder why it didn't work. I didn't update any of the points here. Whoops. What's this? Oh, element out of bounds. I have no idea what this is. Is it anything to do with my mod? Element out of bounds. GUI composer, GUI. Pff, I don't know. I didn't even open. Oh, I hit escape. Was there some kind of problem? Alright, I don't care. We'll shut down. Build. Not here to, you know, not here to troubleshoot the game. Who knows? It could be my mod. I don't freaking know. Be anything. Could even be a boat. You know how much we wanted one of those? I'm going to be live streaming a couple days this week. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to be working remotely, so I'm not going to have my hour drive home. So around 3:30 Eastern time, I'm going to start live streaming right there. There we go. So that'll be fun. All right, so this is going to be 1, 2. Oh, this is going to be easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only need 8 points. Freaking cake. Look at that. Boom. That's all we need to do. Boom. Okay, so 1, it's going to be -2, +2, -2, +2. Now we need 2, 2, 2, 2. So we're going to need like -1, -1, -1, -1, +1, and then a 1, -1, and then a 1, 1. There we go. Fireball. We could do that change live. Okay. Still didn't do shit. Didn't do anything. Let's make sure it sees that the runes are correct. True. It does, in fact, see the runes are correct. Okay. Okay. So that means we need to copy this and we need to go a little further. See, it didn't, oh, whoops. Correct item, reagent, potency. Let's get rid of those. Whoops. Your performance is lacking. We need to have a talk block, all right. There we go. Turned into a purple heart. Hot damn. Right? So now if you wanna change your saplings, just go around it. Purple heart, bald cypress. Sweet, done. Arboreal shift is in. Finally. One that works, right? You know what? A lot of things that I do work, okay? Oh, great job, Moobot! Oh! Your performance is lacking, that's what she said. Oh, Moobot. Oh, man. Make every man cry with that one. Your performance is... Or yawning in the middle. Like, it's like, what? The other ultimate slap in the face. A sigh would also do it, right? It's like, oh, I'm sorry I'm inconveniencing you. I'm so sorry. Oh, you know what we need to do? Clean up. Recipes. Grid. We need to go to... So this is the... Oh, that's the old Arcanus block that I may or may not put in the game as another block people can build with. I'm not sure if anyone would even want it. But this right here, Item Arcanus, I'm not going to delete what I put in. Instead, I'm going to comment everything out so I have a record of it. And that way, if I need to enable something, if something doesn't quite work right, or I want to take a snapshot or snippet of this, it'll be done. What I will put in here is say disabled. Okay. Maybe we should do Eldrathrium in a similar way instead of just like a rusty dust on top of... That's another thing. If anyone has any ideas on what I can do with the Eldrathrium ingot, I feel like the ingot is really expensive, right? It's 1 copper ingot, and I haven't touched it since. Like, if you know, like, it doesn't have to be like an Eldrathrium ingot right off the bat. You know, I can make like a stepping stone, like an Eldrathrium nugget, or, you know, I don't know. But the Eldrathrium ingot is, if there's another way, or maybe a way to make it a little more, I don't know, balanced, let me know. So this right here, right, the lesser crystal, I disabled that already. Do dash disabled. You know what? I'm gonna do disabled in the beginning. Disabled dash item. That way it rearranges them all together. Disabled. So there's the Eldrathrium, the Mana Stone, the Runic Parchment, and the Temporal Fragment. Yeah, Rusty Dust with the Shifting Fibers. Cool. I mean, I could make this for things like the talismans, too. I could make it to where you make talismans the same way. Yeah. I mean, there's things that open it up here, but I don't think I'd really do much else. Everything else, I think everything else looks good. Like Runic Parchment, I don't know. I think some of this stuff should be crafting grid stuff. Cool. All right, everyone. So we have cleaned that up. I'm going to do one last build and load into the game to make sure that there are no errors. Oh, RC, did you see Rust Sickness yet? Were you here in the beginning when I showed off the new debuff? No! It's unhappy. Oh, I know why it's unhappy. Hold on. I did it wrong. I forgot the brackets. I forgot the brackets. I'm ultimately gonna have two debuffs. One's gonna be Rust Sickness. The other one's gonna be called Blight. The Blight is coming much further down. That's going to be when I make my version of Taint. It's gonna have to do with like rotten stuff. That one's gonna be pretty awesome. But Rust Sickness is what you get now, being next to like a Nexus when it's generating, or if you go into like a portal here, and it's processing, you're doing synthesis, and you step into it, you're gonna get Rust Sickness. But this is Rust Sickness here. Let me... Oop. Right, so this is running. It's tier 4, so I'm a tier 1 mage. This is outside of what I can do. When you go into it... Oh, wait, you can't be creative. Right, so I'm survival. You go into it, this is it, right? This is Rust Sickness. So as you can see, like, it's all kind of all over the place here. Let's go back in. The debuff, what it does is it slowly eats away your satiety, and then if you run out, it will slowly start to eat your health. Now, it only lasts 5 seconds. Like, if you hop in, you're like, oh shit, you walk away, it will last 5 seconds until it disappears. But this is my first debuff here. Do you attract more spawns? You can. Currently, you don't. I don't do anything to your temporal stability with Rust Sickness. And the reason why I don't do anything with temporal stability is because you can make rifts. This isn't something that lowers your stability. A sickness is going to hurt you as a person, right? It's going to make you more hungry. It's going to affect your body, not your mind as much. Right? It's like nausea, pretty much. And you get it from some Rust attributes here, some Rust things. Like EMF, right? Some people, it can lead to like anxiety and stuff if you're around it for too long and you're sensitive to it. That's the idea behind this. So what you may want to do is, if you get those high-powered caps, you could just shut off, right? And now I can go here and I can do whatever I need to do. You know, put it back on, and it can just work, right? Essence flow is maxed. Cool. Great power. Yeah, great power needs a debuff. Exactly. And I can also apply Rust Sickness to, like, your critical failures, right? So something like this with Chaotic, I could do, like, an AoE, you know, hit for Rust Sickness and things like that. The alternative Taint one from Rifts makes it reduce max health for a time. You might be able to reverse engineer it from Xandus X Skills mod. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I already know how I could do something like that. It's just until you said it, I didn't think of doing it. You know, so it's definitely one of those things where it is definitely helpful. That's why I like live streaming too, and why I ask questions, because it's like I can't think of everything. But yeah, you know, something like that. Yeah, an alternative where it decreases your maximum health or something for the debuff. Yeah, for like, you know, whatever, like a 2-minute period, you're in a weakened state. I can that's what making this buff system allows me to do. Like, I now have, you know, open floor to start adding the scary part of looking through a dimensional void that houses, you know, drifters and you know, the psycho, you know, the breaking, right? The mind breaking powers of the Rust. So, all right, everyone, let's find someone to raid. Raid. Who we got? Like 50% less max health. Anytime. Did I give you permission to speak? Who do we got playing Vintage Story?
I took a long time on it, so.
Boop. All right, who do we got? Who do we got? There are a lot of people. Wow. The fact that I have a couple people in here is kind of nice. First thing I look for are tags. Anything here? We got someone doing survival. Does that person have a shirt on? I don't know. It's kind of weird how some people get away with, like, no clothes. You know what I mean? Oh, did you see the art for the next patch? Yes, I did. I have to admit, I hated 1.19. If we had that Rust creature in there, I would have loved 1.19 at the start. I can't wait to see that monster. I want to do things with that monster. It's going to be freaking sweet. I can't wait. Can't wait. Let's go see Durag again. Who's Durag? Durag? Who's Durag? Is there someone called Durag? Oh, Durag95? The mayor said it's... let me look to see if anyone's using mods. I like watching people use other people's mods when I do this stuff here. RP survival, helping the boys get money. Yeah, we'll just raid this guy. Durag. It's gonna be a raid and run anyways. I gotta go. Exclamation raid or slash raid. Here we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I gotta head out because the little one's up. I will be live streaming a little later tonight. This one's gonna be a short one. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Bye.